YouTube, Bad Wolf here. Definitely appreciate you guys and all of the support. You guys are awesome. All right, so this video is about those people who want to refuse mail. Okay, so you've been getting, let's say, like collection letters, legal letters, court stuff, letters from your family, whatever. Just mail you haven't been really wanting to receive or you dread opening, things of that nature. So, and of course, once again, even though this information is based off of the actual USPS.com website, I don't suggest skirting or avoiding um, certain things. But in general, can this information work for you in that area? Well, that's up to you to decide. This is educational purposes only. All right. So the reason why this comes up is because, I had some letters coming some time ago, and I really just didn't want them coming to my house. You have that right to refuse, or to stop mail. Now, in the old days, you could just write on there, return to sender, stick in your mailbox, and they would take it. Okay, well, since the old days, they've changed that. And a lot of people don't even know that you have the right to actually not have this mail coming. Now, this won't work on typical advertisements like your little flyers and your little things like that. I mean, you can try it and do it, but I have a way around, and I'll get to that probably at the end of the video. So we're just going to start off with basically what we're, how to do this the correct way in normal circumstances. Okay, now this is a quote from their exact website. Refusal after delivery. Okay, so you actually have the right to refuse mail. Nearly all your mail can be refused at the point in time where the mailman is handing you the mail. Okay, you can say, nope, I'm not taking it, and he has to return it. Now, what I found out later on, having done this with my mailman, who I later got reprimanded because he decided he didn't want to take it, and then he started getting a little irate and basically told me that, oh, he can lose his job if he, does this. So I ended up calling the postmaster and getting that straightened out, because sometimes things get straightened out when you go right to the top, especially, because I had her boss's number. So anyway, I digress. But yes, so most mail you can refuse at the exact point of delivery, keeping in mind that that box outside of your house is federal property. Okay, so by having a mailbox, you are authorizing them permission to come onto your property, which is why it needs to be kept clean up to that point, and the accessibility of them putting the mail in there. If you remove your mailbox, then you're basically removing that jurisdictional point, and they can't deliver mail. These days, with a lot of things being online, you don't really need to have a mailbox, but if you don't need to get rid of it at this point in time, I would say just keep it. It's not a biggie. Or it's up to you, your choice. Anyway, as we go to 1.13, refusal after delivery, it says, after delivery, an addressee may mark a mail piece, quote, refused, quote, and return it within a reasonable time if the piece of mail or any attachment is not opened. Okay, so if you haven't opened it within a couple of days, you can literally write on your letter, refused, in quotation marks, put it back into your mailbox, flip the little thing up, or just leave it in there if you don't have those. Typically, most people will stand it up so the mail carrier can see that it's in there. If you've got one of those long, flat ones, and they will return it. That is basically how it is done. Okay, so going on, it says mail that may not be refused and returned unopened under this provision may be returned to the sender only if it is enclosed in a new envelope or wrapper with the correct address and new postage on there. So if you've already opened it or you took too long to return it, it has to be returned by their federal law, their regulations, in a new envelope with new postage on there. Okay, so the first method is how you return any of that stuff for free. Okay. And then it goes on to say the following may not be refused and return postage free after delivery. Okay, so a sent piece of mail that is registered, and it'll say registered on there, okay? You can't return that, basically, period. If it's insured, if it's certified mail, or COD, which is collect on delivery, okay? Anything that requires an adult signature, and return receipt for merchandise, okay? So if it's these things, you cannot return it. They have to leave it. That is their ordinance, okay? It sucks. So, but here's the thing about that. On the flip side, if you want to send something to a specific, court or business, judge or whatever else, if you send it, requiring a signature or certified, or COD or anything like that, they have to take it. Okay, so that way you can make sure that your package or information gets to them. Now, there are some people who are so important that they have people in place who receive their mail, but at least those people have received it. And by law, if you put on there care of or courtesy of the person who you're trying to reach, CFO, CEO, VP, or whatever else, which I've done many times for various things I've worked on over the years, we'll just say, it has to, by law, be either opened by them or one particular authorized representative that they have declared, okay? So that's how you get that mail to those particular people. And finally, response mail to an addressee's sales promotion, solicitations, announcements, advertisements that was not refused when offered to the addressee. So basically, those little promotional advertiser things, you have to contact the company and say, hey, I don't want these sent, because they will not take it if you have marked refused on there. They just won't, because that's just how their stipulations are going. But if you catch the mail guy dropping it off at that exact point in time, which is God knows who's home during the day, you can do it then. All right. So now, sorry, just 1 second, reading my notes here. Okay. So don't write just rejected on there. It has to be no other form is accepted other than refused in quotation marks. Okay. Now, here is what I would suggest doing. Okay, I've covered that. Yeah. Okay, so now if you haven't opened it and the time has passed, here's what I, for educational purposes, would suggest you do. Okay, you take a black marker, mark out your name and address and zip code and even the little barcode across the bottom, which designates, their processing to your house. Black all that out and go to your nearest mailbox and drop it in there after having put refused on there. Hypothetically, they will either throw it away or take it back to be processed and sent back to the sender. And at that point in time, the sender actually, same thing with marking on there refused, the sender has to, will be charged for that article of mail to be returned. Okay, so, but let's say you're dealing with a credit card company or a bill collector, some kind of collector, something like that. Now, this can be used for other things. I'm not going to go into what all you can use this for. You're going to have to think outside of the box because this is educational purposes only. I know I say that in a lot of videos, but you have to throw that out there for overzealous people and because we don't want, people looking too closely and saying, driving people in certain directions, this, that, and the other. You're grown. You can figure out how to use this for certain things. Okay. All right. So let's just say it's a credit card company. They're bothering you. And let's just say you've already sent off, you wrote them or called them and told them, please stop sending mail. Okay. They haven't listened to you. Well, here's what I would do. Mark on there, refused in quotation marks. You can even put a little arrow to point towards the person's address on there. Black marker out your information, and then underneath the return, put the refused, put return to sender, and then by sender's information, put sender, remove and cease and desist mail. Then you can put like by law or whatever else on there. Okay. And so what'll happen is and then also by their information, put UCC 1-308 so that they know you're not contracting. Okay, you're not contracting. So anything you might have signed is null and void without prejudice. So put all that information on there. So what this is going to do for you is basically tell them that you are not going to take part of this information. You do not want it. Stop mailing you. Now, what you have the legal right to also do is contact the company, any organization, whatever else, and send them a cease and desist letter all on its own. I think the Federal Consumer Reporting Agency, the FCRA, and consumer rights advocates. You can look up either or of those, and they've got sample letters that you can send to these people who are either harassing you by phone or by mail. And by getting those sample letters from those agencies or creating your own, they just have the actual codes. It's always better, holds more weight. Instead of just saying, hey, stop calling me, but they're supposed to do that anyway. But if they don't, I think there's a fine of up to like $1,200 or $1,500 that you can collect from them each and every time they send you a piece of mail or call you if they don't stop that process. So that's pretty much about it, guys. I appreciate your time and your patronage to the channel. We're growing. So that's cool. Just means that we're really getting the word out on some of this stuff because, a lot of people are living with the stress of, bill collectors, and they don't know their rights. They don't know how to stop the mail, and they're just, afraid to go to their mailbox. I'm not even going to lie. I was there at one point in time. I've used all these processes that I'm giving you guys to stop that stuff and to actually start living a better quality of life. So I hope this helps you guys out there. I've got tons of more videos coming with different things and products and marketing, ways to make money, etc., all to improve your life and to help you guys out. So don't forget to hit that bell, like, and subscribe on the way out. I definitely appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your day. And basically, now you're going to be able to live without having to worry about or the fear of going to your mailbox. So, all right, guys, take care. Talk to you later. Bad Wolf, over and out. Oh, before I go, I no longer have the long, squiggly, generic name for my channel. You can actually type in youtube.com/C/James C. Lovett. And you got my full direct website link to this channel. So that's about it, guys. Thanks. Spread the word. Add me, save me, like me, or don't like me. Like me. That's cool. All right, guys. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and appreciate your loved ones out there. Talk to you later.